There's something in the real world, and it's called reputational risk. And it's when something threatening or harmful could, destroy the good name or the good faith, good standing of a business. For instance, if you found a rat in a Chick-fil-A sandwich or something, that goes viral on social media. That creates a reputational risk. Or for instance, a bank. Somebody withdrew money out of your account, you go to make a deposit, and it went into the wrong account. Say that goes viral. That creates a reputational risk because now people are like, well, should I take my money out of this bank? Because I'm not sure if my money will get to my account, because a lot of people really don't check their finances that much. So small transactions, sometimes you don't notice it. But regardless, that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is reputational risk is a huge thing in One Piece as well. This was actually spurred by just the conversation after 976, where people are just killing Big Mom because of the reputation that she holds right now, I guess, to the fan base. For a lot of people, Big Mom is a staple of incompetence, in which people go to her territory, people get away from her, things are taken, and it goes from even back in the day with Roger, in which it's stated in the story that Roger went to Big Mom's territory and he got a poneglyph and got away. And that's been the recurring theme for Big Mom, where she's drowned in incompetence. And for us, having more than a bird's eye view, we have an inside look of the makeup of Big Mom's faction and Big Mom's network. We understand why that can happen, because Big Mom essentially rules on fear, or by fear, through fear. So things going awry, it's going to happen frequently because people are scared of Big Mom. Her kids are scared of her, so they don't want to mess up. And if they do, they're hiding it. And so therefore these slip-ups keep happening. And also Big Mom herself is a liability because of her illness. So when you couple that with, again, the kids being scared of you, the actual leader of this empire being a liability, these slip-ups are going to keep recurring. Again, with Roger, Luffy, Kid, people are going into Big Mom's territory and taking what they want. So now it's created a reputational risk. That's why Big Mom was so outraged at what Big News said, in which Big News didn't say Luffy defeated Big Mom. It's just that based on the outcome, Luffy going into Big Mom's territory, taking whatever he wanted from her, defeating 2 commanders, that leaves a huge stain, especially for Yonko, in which they rule through fear and reputation. I think that's overlooked in the One Piece world, how much reputation governs the world. What people think they know, not what they actually know, but what they can perceive, what the streets is saying, what's rumored, what's talked about. We don't know for certain, but that's what people are saying. So therefore, that creates a reputation. And that's not only for Big Mom. Kaido's introduction, for instance. Kaido came in and we had that amazing introduction, which they talked about the things he's been through, but then they also said, people say he's the world's strongest creature. And that is something built off reputation. So maybe Kaido, based on the things he's gone through and the things he's done, he's so animalistic in nature. People even said that he's a beast. He's not even human. He's a thing. Even Big Mom said, if you guys think you can defeat that thing, I guess. So I think Kaido's reputation comes from not only his beast-like nature, obviously his devil fruit as well, in which he transforms into a fucking dragon, and his insane durability. He fell from Sky Island and he had a mild headache. Going back to his introduction, all these things he went through in which they tried to kill him and it didn't work. So for that, it creates a perception. It creates a lore, a legend, in which Kaido isn't even viewed as human because all these things tried to kill him and they didn't work. It's like Oda is using this reputation to mimic what I think his devil fruit is, which more than likely is a mythical dragon fruit. This mythos of Kaido that's being developed outside of that, it's like 2 sides of the same coin, in which Kaido is now built up to be this mythical creature that cannot be killed. And because of the reputation, it's mostly stated as fact. Going back to reputation for the other Yonko, Shanks' reputation, or how he became famous, was through his duels with Mihawk. So for Shanks, not only being a part of Roger's crew, but also dueling with the man who was considered, or I guess at that point, one of the world's greatest swordsmen, if not the world's greatest at the time. We also know Mihawk became famous while Gold Roger was alive, so Shanks being somewhat of a cabin boy on Roger's crew, holding his own with Mihawk, it develops a reputation. And now Shanks goes from a regular underling of Gold Roger to someone of prominence, someone that can hang with the world's greatest swordsman, of at least top 5 at that point, right? Let's go to Whitebeard. The reputation around Whitebeard and the lore around Whitebeard, that was developed even pre-Timeskipper. Roger, or Whitebeard rather, he had the world's strongest man title while Roger was alive. The things with titles is weird, and I think that's a conversation we can have at some point. They're unofficial official titles, if that makes sense, in which you're not dubbed these things by an official source. It's not the world government labeling you this thing and all of a sudden that's what you are. I think the most official title is probably Dragons, in which he's the world's most wanted man because he has an official bounty that's higher than anyone else's. For Whitebeard and his world's strongest title, how do you garner that? It's not something that's passed around like a belt, right? It's earned. And for Whitebeard, he had to have done some amazing things. And of course, with having the Quake fruit, a lot of people, when you see that, you don't think anyone is comparing to that. We know Whitebeard, back in the day when he was with Roger, he made the seas tilt by being angry. It's not like Marineford where he was, weakened. He can tilt the seas with little to no effort. Seeing that would make one think that is the strongest man in the world. And that creates a reputation. So that's why when Whitebeard even got to Marineford or on his way, people were shaking because they had an idea of what Whitebeard's reputation was. He was revered as the world's strongest man, and the world's strongest man was on his way to Marineford. And I think Oda plays with that reputation thing a lot because in Whitebeard's case, I don't think he was still the world's strongest man at all in Marineford, but that's the reputation he carried and that's the respect he garnered, so people treated him that way. And I think for Whitebeard, even though he wasn't the same man, because of the reputation he built up, he could still protect his territories, still commit raids on islands with little to no effort because people know him as Whitebeard, the world's strongest man. And I think for every pirate, you try to build this reputation. That's something that's honestly can be more important than a crewmate sometimes, because if your reputation is sullied, that could be the beginning of the end for your empire. That's why Big Mom was so frustrated and so upset. She left Whole Cake Island to go to Wano to find Luffy. That's why Luffy being regarded as the 5th Yonko is not that bad in my eyes because of what he caused to a Yonko. I don't think people understand how damaging that is to Big Mom. Knowing that Luffy came into her territory, took out 2 of her top commanders, and got out of there. I mean, Pound, he was Big Mom's guy. Pedro, he expected to die there, right? So that's a major feat. And Luffy definitely created some reputational risk there, or reputational stain for Big Mom. Now, I think someone that's interesting is Blackbeard here, because Blackbeard, he laid low. He didn't develop any reputation. So for Blackbeard, even getting the commander position, he was like, nah, I don't want it, because then it creates a reputation. Then people expect something from you. If Blackbeard had taken that commander position, of course, now he gets a bounty. Now people are more aware of him because he remained unknown, pretty much a nobody. His plan and his rise to prominence is even more grandiose. Taking out Thatch and then Ace going to challenge him, I think it would be more caution, honestly, with Blackbeard if he was a commander and Ace going after him. I think Ace took it personally, obviously because he took out Thatch, but Blackbeard was Ace's subordinate, his direct subordinate. So he took it personally and felt like he had to go do it. If Blackbeard was his own commander, at that point, it's up to Whitebeard. We're looking at you, Whitebeard. Of course, he's a part of Whitebeard's crew, but for Ace, it was more of a stain on his reputation, right? Because someone from his faction took out another commander, escaped a ship, so he took that personally. Reputation is important in One Piece. Look at the tiger and the dog, that chapter. When Akainu called Fujitora and said, you cannot fucking do that. You cannot prostrate in front of the king of Dressrosa, or the former now new king, and say that that was our fault, because then we look bad. Then the reputation for the world government is being sullied, and we can't have that. And it's crazy because sometimes I talk about Blackbeard's reputation indirectly and how him becoming a warlord and him fucking the world government over. Now, no one really trusts him. That's why for Aokiji joining Blackbeard and all these different things, people are like, what are you doing? Do you know who that person is? He used his intel, used his inside information for Whitebeard's territories and all that to become where he is now. And now he's developed an insane reputation of a diabolical villain that creates some fear. So for Blackbeard, when he shows up anywhere now, his reputation is going to follow him. Even the Straw Hats had reputation before we even got to know them. Zoro, they had mentioned him before he was introduced with Alvida, talking about how strong he is and how he's a demon. But sometimes reputation can be off the mark. Katakuri and his reputation. That was a legend created by his family, where he didn't fall on his back, he walked out of Big Mom, all these different things to prop up Katakuri, and then in turn, he created this character to uphold this reputation, even though that wasn't him. We saw the Merienda. We saw the true Katakuri. But yeah, it's true, sometimes you can become a victim of your reputation, and that's true in real life and social media, in which people place different expectations of you, and even though that's not you anymore, maybe you've changed. Your reputation is that, and sometimes people feel forced to uphold that. We can even even mention Buggy and his reputation and how that's pretty much off kilter. People view Buggy as, part of Roger's crew, Shanks's rival, or someone that could go to Shanks and yell at Shanks, someone that could address Whitebeard. So Buggy has this insane reputation. Even the people from Impo Down, who Buggy brought under him because of a reputation he developed, right? It's something that isn't addressed a lot, but developing a reputation, even if it's not true, even if all of it isn't 100% facts, what you put out there, what the people put out there is important. That's why Big News Morgans and what he spread about Luffy, that's a huge deal, because now people are changing their outlook on who Luffy is. Of course, the Yonko saw through that, and they were like, yeah, you're not ready yet. You're almost there, you're not ready. All of them said it pretty much. So I think in the One Piece world, one of the most overlooked things, something that isn't discussed a lot, but indirectly and directly shown in the story to be of utmost importance, is your reputation. Law offhandedly talked about his prestige in Dressrosa, and then in moments in Wano and Zoe where he talks about, not being friendly and being a pirate, because then it goes to your reputation. If everyone knows you're this nice, jolly guy and you help every city you go to, you develop a reputation. That's probably not the reputation you want as a pirate, right? And I think Oda does this through like silhouettes, in which the silhouettes are always very menacing, because that's how people view pirates. That's the general view of pirates. So he draws the silhouettes extremely menacing in their worst possible form. Then when you meet them, you're like, this is not what I expected at all. I expected something completely different. This person's actually a nice guy. Not saying they can't go there. And I think Shanks is a great example of this, where people feel like Shanks is a good guy, but of course Shanks has a mean streak. I mean, kid lost his arm to Shanks. And in the first episode, Shanks talked about if you're gonna point a gun to somebody, you have to be prepared to lose your life. Lucky Root killed someone in the first episode, or the first chapter, however you want to view it. I was just thinking about it and how different things that happen in the One Piece world can definitely affect your reputation, because Big Mom, with Jinbei getting away, getting kicked off the waterfall, the amnesia stuff, Luffy getting away, Roger getting away, Kid getting away. It seems to be a recurring theme with Big Mom where she's used as somewhat, I don't know, as a hype tool for other characters. And no other Yonko goes through that like Big Mom does. So now she has a reputation issue, which is real. But give me your thoughts. How do you guys feel about all this? Let me know. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at bragody.ace. Follow me on twitch.tv as well /BragoDAce. We stream every other night around that. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much for your support. That helps out a lot. But yeah, like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.